Well, good morning. It's a little early for me to make a video, but figure I'll knock it out in the morning time. Um, Hope everyone's doing well. Um, this thing. Of course, everything I say is not on behalf of the post office. I get up early in the morning. I worked yesterday as a rural delivery package person. I get paid for the day that I do that, the same money a 204B makes. So that's pretty cool. Um, Lenox City. Well, it's not a city, but man, there's money there. The properties, the way they keep the neighborhood. It's a country town. It's a rural, but it's really, yeah. They must be very strict about how you keep your. Yeah, there's money there. That's for sure. So it's definitely a aesthetic delivery experience. Tanglewood's there. Um, so yeah, I'm still dealing with the seniority change, and I'm not upset with the person who benefited. At the end of the day, if it is correct and fixed, then I'm happy about it. Um, the major issue is I wasn't notified from the source. Like HR didn't send me a letter saying, "Hey, we messed up. We updated the seniority list, um, and therefore we had to change it." I found out when I bit a root, and like for a year it was A, me, used to be B, and the other person was C. I guess we all got hired, these three people, on the same day. So then I bit a root, and I became A became B, and C was still C. And yeah, rightfully so, A was upset, obviously. Because I even told the supervisor, I'm like, hey, you know, A's above me because I bit a root and he beat me to it. Um, and then I bit another root the following week, the very next week. And B went back to being A. And then me, went to C. And then C went to B. I'm like, what? No, not that I'm angry at the person. I'm not. But I'm like, hey, I go up to the supervisor. I'm like, hey, my seniority changed. What the hell, man? I mean, look at this. The list is wrong again. And the postmaster, I don't know. He put in a response on the computer to ask. And within the minute of me standing there telling him, hey, for like a year, and I've asked about my seniority like a few times from the union steward who was like the president of at our office, and she verified that I was ahead. Um, and then he gets a response. I don't know. You get a response from Boston in 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And I guess in a tie like that, it goes by test score, and then I guess military preference, and then Social Security if you tie on the test, I guess. So, yeah, you never know what's the truth. There's always a grain of salt you got to take, and that's the major issue. It's not the issue. It's not personal to the person who got fixed, and if it was wrong, I'm happy about it. But you got to think about it because they never notified me. I was surprised via the bid list. Oh, my seniority changed. You know what I mean? You let a person know about that. You know what I mean? It's not right not to let somebody know because they're going to think they are where they stand, and then all of a sudden they're surprised looking at a bid sheet. And you, you ask about it, and there's really, they're kind of like, I guess, not understanding the effect of that to the employee who's being negatively affected by that. And that's like the post office. They're really, I guess, naive about stuff like that, I guess. I don't know. But because people may argue, but seniority is the most important factor in our career because it's not based on production. It's based on your seniority, and it's a blind way to get something, and that's why I'm an avid seniority fan, even if it does knock out meritocracy, because like especially in Massachusetts, um, the people in Massachusetts are very they're very woke, but they're very judgmental at the same time. They're judgmental, but yet they think they're woke. They are progressive, but yet they're judgmental at the same time. They are. Especially if they think you're weird. It is like that. You don't really have to be weird to be judged as being weird. Here, it's kind of hard to put your hand on, but they'll think that you're off when really you're not really doing anything that's not actually weird. They're judgmental like that. Um, and so, therefore, when it comes to fairness of opportunity in Massachusetts, it's tricky. It's very much how they like you and how normal they think you are. Um, they don't think you're normal. You're not really going to climb on the job here in Massachusetts. So seniority is very freaking important because it is very much how they like you here. You have to be like super normal in a way. They celebrate difference and diversity, they do, but at the same time they don't. It's kind of it's tricky, but it's true. They're very judgmental that way. It's one of my favorite topics about how you get caught being angry, like I did, and alone in my truck. I'm on a steep hill. The town didn't really do a good job of clearing that way, and I'm sliding in the truck, and I'm afraid I'm gonna slide back into that Audi. And then, of course, you're gonna lose your job. Um, so I'm swearing. Oh, lo and behold, the guy in the house is filming me, and he puts it on social media, and I got judged. Uh, Supervisors talked to me. They didn't discipline me. At this time, things were crazy. Things calmed down, but things were crazy. I was getting PDI'd like every freaking week. It was insane at this time period. And they didn't like judge him, but they were judging me. That kind of fakeness. It's like, oh man, you got caught being angry. You know what I mean? It's that kind of judgment, you know. Uh, so yeah, that's why I'm a very avid believer in seniority, and that's why it's freaking yeah, because then you have a confidence that you can go somewhere. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any. Because it's weird. It's too tricky. It, how do you fairly advance people? You know what I mean? Otherwise, then what you have to do is you have to truly measure what people do and record it accurately. And then have people be able to stand by what their numbers are. And then that would be the fair way to advance people on the job, would be by production and a fair and accurate method of showing production. Otherwise, then it's always going to be the person who's liked, who is the normal person who's liked and who's going to climb. And you might not be liked so much, and you could be doing more, and you're going to stay at the bottom. So that's just life. People are naturally biased in that way. That was one of my peeves, like last year, when the packages were heavy. I might go over a little bit every once in a while, and I'd have to deal with the drama when I get back to the office. It was always, and it would affect how angry I am when I'm working, because I'd be pissed. Because I have thin skin, and I know I'm going to have to deal with the drama when I get back to the office. And then I would recognize that other people being slower than me and no crap's being given to them. I mean, why the heck is it me freaking having to put up with what happened out there? And that would, just like get into my brain, you know what I mean? It's like personality contests, you know what I mean? It's like that kind of stuff. It's fairness. People have personality problems with personalities. I'm not saying I am a normal person, you know what I mean? But it's a soft spot for me. So it's tricky. So the post office should have notified me of the change of seniority and told me, rather than letting me find out by surprise. Now, not only that, where you stand on seniority is where you stand in your career. I might have made a change, but I might not have, because I might have thought where I was is where I was. Why would you waste your time, especially at my age? So it's not personal against the person. I've grappled on that this week. I'm like, I'm not being a sore loser at the person. I'm not mad at the person, and I'm happy if, and I believe everything's above board. I really do. But again, the pondering if it is or not is simply rooted because I wasn't told. Then there wouldn't be any question if I have the information from the source. Hey, the letter from HR or Greensboro or wherever. Hey, we had to update your seniority because there's 3 individuals, unnamed individuals, that were hired the same day. There might have been a discrepancy and we had to fix it. And then there wouldn't be any questions. There wouldn't be nothing to think of. I wouldn't be thinking about it. I wouldn't even care, you know what I mean? So I've spent all this time trying to not think about it, trying not to wrestle with, like, am I being a sore loser or not? When I'm not. But yet my mind's saying, you're just being a sore loser. You're not having any class at all. But that's not really it. But yet my mind's wondering about that, because I'm obviously, there's a part of me that's upset about it. Obviously, anybody would. But I'm not upset about it getting fixed. But that's all that way simply because they didn't tell me, and you can't really trust either source, if it's not from the source, because the person might be working at the union, and there's a bias there. And then the postmaster might not want to tell you the full truth either. So it's not like you can believe either one in a way, because there's trickiness. It can. You might not really find out the truth that might be fully, because how do you, when everybody's paying dues, be fair to everybody when one might be working there as a union employee? So it's like, and again, when you don't get the information from the source, a letter telling you, you're going to wonder, and you're going to be like, that's a coincidence. And it's a seed. It's like a seed of doubt in the brain. And you don't believe it. But that seed can grow. And you can be like, yeah, man. They might have fixed the seniority to help out their fellow comrade, Yeah, I'm not saying that they did that. But that seed happens because the post office doesn't want to just follow some sort of etiquette and be like, hey, we gotta be proper and let people know. So therefore, we don't have people wondering, did they get unfairly leapfrogged with coincidences? And that's what the brain's gonna wrap around. You know what I mean? It is what it is. At the end of the day, I like my T6 string. I didn't lose that. New person B didn't want the T6 string, so therefore I don't have to feel bad about having something I wasn't entitled to. So that's good. So yeah, it was an eventful week of wrestling with the brain over stuff, bad luck. But I'm making the money with the overtime. I ran once last week. At 13.1, I averaged 7:49. I did it in an hour and 42. So I'm happy about that. I'm back in the money for the time being. But now that I'm back, and I got everything squared from the move, if they take away the overtime, I don't really care. Because I'm really wrestling with the lack of being able to run when I'm working the 12 hours. So I'm not going to whine if they go back to the other extreme. So other than that, I'm doing all right. I'm being counted today on a Monday on a route that sucks to be counted on. So, yeah, I hope everybody's doing okay, and thank you.